Hey, this is Scott Photography Bonsai. In this video, I'm going to be talking about dual wielding cameras, using two cameras at once. Pretty nice. I really enjoy doing this quite a bit. Done it for many years with different cameras. I'll go over the benefits and the drawbacks to dual wielding. So let's get started. Here's the way that I usually do dual wielding. Two different straps. Standard camera strap on the main camera. Usually a wide angle lens, which I'll get to different focal lengths and things later, but this is the main camera. Very easy to access. And you got the second camera on a strap here, attached to the tripod mount. Easy enough. So you have to think about which one goes first on you. You definitely want the large, long strap first. Otherwise, if this was on the bottom of this strap, you would be choking yourself, which I'll demonstrate. And then the shoulder strap, see that it does not work well for doesn't work well for this one unless you have a very long strap, and then in that case it just would not function that well. So you definitely want your main camera on the standard strap over the shoulder strap. Proper way to do this is you put the shoulder strap first. That's good to go. You do have to consider the length of this. You want it long enough. Main camera, like that. That way you can easily access this camera, but also pull this one up. You can do side shots as long as this is long enough. That's pretty much it. Just quickly switch between the two cameras. Here's a second option. It's a dual strap. It's a very cheap one I picked up off Amazon. Actually started modifying it, adding more protection. I did use it once. Nice photo shoot. It did work pretty well, surprisingly. So there are a few benefits to this over my main setup. The one is it's a little simpler once it's all attached. And each camera is as easily accessed as the other. Both have full range of movement. It does work pretty well. See the back? I did modify this a little bit to make it more structurally sound. So that's pretty much it for this one. It works well, and probably do a video on this in the future, just showing all the modifications I've done and will do to the strap to make it more reliable. Of course, you can lengthen these here to make it easier, but of course when you duck down towards the ground, you don't want your camera that you're not using to touch the floor. So that's one of the issues which I'll get to. Here's the last way I've used in the past to hold the two cameras at once. This is kind of in between dual wielding and just doing standard stuff. It's the cheapest. You have a standard strap on your main camera. Of course, use that as much as you want, but when you want that different focal length, pull it out of your bag. In this case, just have a simple messenger bag with a flap. You can easily leave that flap open depending on your bag if it's safe. This one actually has little side straps that I can leave covering the top of the camera. So that adds a little bit of extra protection for any accidental situations. But you just pull the second camera out, take your photo with the more unique perspective of the lens in this case, and then put it back in the bag. So you just keep doing that back and forth when you want that different perspective. Works alright. Not as quick as the other options. Now that you've seen different ways to hold the two cameras at once, I'm going to go into some of the benefits and negatives of dual wielding. First, let's go into the negatives I've found with dual wielding. Biggest one is, of course, added weight, added complexity. If your control scheme isn't very similar on the two cameras, it can get confusing potentially, but it really depends on your experience and practice. When you get used to it, it gets easier. Another negative I've found, I mentioned in this so far, is when you kneel down, which you actually do quite a bit, depending on your type of photography, you will potentially bump one of the cameras into the ground or into something. I have done that quite a few times in the past, but I do use lens filters usually, and those have taken most of the damage. Besides that, really not any huge negatives. It's a little confusing at times, but you get used to it. So there are a lot of benefits to dual wielding. I've found the biggest is using prime lenses, two at the same time. Get some variety in focal length. In this case, 20 millimeters on the 750, and then we've got 100 millimeters on the 600. So what that benefit there is, I don't always want a wide angle, especially if I'm taking photos of people. Sometimes it's very unique perspective and it does work. So I'll get down there, I'll take a wide angle, switch quickly to the long focal length, get some portrait shots. So you get that instant variety with the two cameras. Of course, you also get instant backup. If one of your cameras is having issues, just switch to the other one. Quick, bam, you got it. Easy enough. When you have those two different focal lengths at the same time, you don't really have to change lenses in the field unless you really need something else. That way, dust, anything, any situation, if the conditions are poor, there's some rain or something, you just leave the lens on the camera, on each camera, and then you've still got that variety, but you don't have to have any issues getting stuff inside your camera at the time. I used Pentax DSLRs for many years in the past, K7, K5 together towards the end, but I had quite a few different cameras before that. K10D for a while, so maybe the K7, K10D together. One camera would have a manual lens, something slow to use but unique. Other camera would have something dependable, quick to use, autofocus. In those situations, it was really beneficial to have the two cameras set up and ready to go, quick and easy to use. And then I moved to the Nikon stuff, full frame, D600. I also had a D7000 in the beginning. So those two cameras, you got the APS-C and the full frame camera. Two different lenses with you. You can switch them out, swap them, and then you've got some more unique focal length range because of the different sensor sizes. So if I were, for example, using a 7200, I could put it on the crop camera and get a little bit more range effectively, and it just worked out well with the different sensor sizes. But in this case, two different full frame cameras, easy enough just to have the two lenses and leave them on each camera. A few quick examples. One at a convention doing hallway photos, which are basically impromptu quick photos, a few seconds, a minute or two, really something short and easy. In this case, the dual wielding helps a lot. You get that variety and you can do it quickly. So I'd pull out the wide angle, take a full body shot, and then also pull out some type of short telephoto or normal lens, 50 or 100 millimeters, something like that, and get the portrait photo. In those cases, I can do it in a few seconds almost, and it works out well. And another example is a friend's horse farm. We've taken cosplay photos there. Multiple photographers, multiple cosplayers, and then horses, so you don't want to use flash around the horses. I do want some variety, and the dual wielding works out well in that case. Basically same setup, wide angle, and then some type of telephoto. In the past, I've used the 70 to 210, the old Nikon lens, and also the Sigma 1 to 300 millimeter f4. Those work out well. So you've got the one camera with a large telephoto lens, and then the other camera with maybe a normal lens, 50 millimeters, or potentially this wide angle. Really depends on the situation, and I don't have to change them out. I can change them out, and it's quicker and easier just to do it once if I need to, or just leave them as is. So those are my experiences with dual wielding cameras. Very helpful to me in many situations. Of course, it's not ideal in every situation, but when you want that variety, you want the backup, and you want, once it's fully set up, easy to use and quick and easy to have those different focal lengths, it's a good option. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. That helps me out a lot. The likes, shares, all of that helps out a lot as well. Thanks again.